Welcome back to Fast Track News. Great parties and social functions have been constant on large college campuses for decades, and Purdue is no different. But new regulations for fraternity parties are trying to change the culture around these events. To learn more, we sent Fast Track Mike Folta to Purdue Frats. That's all we have for this week's episode of Fast Track News Magazine. I'm Maggie Mroczkiewicz.
And I'm Mike Folta. We'll see you next time. I'm going to count my fingers like this. Yeah. I couldn't believe it.
I'm very pensive right now.
Yeah. I mean, just as far as like thinking about stuff deep in your mind and like saying it is kind of like what we're doing. But.
If you love discounted books, media, and games, then the Friends of Tippecanoe Public Library book sale is just right for you. Here you can find everything from children's and young adult literature to westerns and comic books. But if you don't know what you're looking for, don't worry. Suzanne Cunningham is here to help.
I'm chair of the book sale committee for the TCPL Friends.
Awesome. And can you tell me about the book sale?
A quarterly event that is comprised of fiction and nonfiction books that have been donated or withdrawn from the library shelves, hardbacks, paperbacks, some specialty books, nearly new books, 2018 prints, just currently printing, children's books that some of them are practically perfect in the sense that I think they have never even been opened by a person and they've donated to us, so they're practically brand new.
But this sale has more than just books.
The other thing we get is a lot of puzzles and games. There are right now 8 boxes of puzzles sitting in the McAllister room of jigsaw puzzles. The other thing is we have media, which is music CDs, generally movie DVDs. We have movie TV, and then we have audiobooks.
Sales from the event also help support the local library and community.
The proceeds go to the Friends. It generally goes to scholarship committees for staff members of the library who want to go to school and continue their education. It supports the author visits, the adult and the children's author visits, the summer reading program at the 3 libraries. It supports the summer reading programs. And feel free to come on down and join the fun. We have books for everybody, and if you can't find a book, I'll find a book for you.
Maggie Mroczkiewicz, Fast Track News. When Kevin Burkett purchased the Logansport State Theater back in 2014, he intended to start a successful business that would support himself and his wife. However, what began as a new family business quickly transformed into a citywide project to preserve one of the city's oldest and most historic landmarks.
We thought there was a chance that the theater could just sit here and dilapidate.
The Logansport State Theater was built in 1880 and originally functioned as a warehouse beneath tiny apartment units. It wasn't until 1940 that it was transformed into the beloved historical theater that we see today. Today, old age and structural issues are threatening the future of this little slice of history. But Kevin Burkett says he will not let that happen.
I found out pretty quickly that, my goal in buying the theater was never to be a theater operator. It was to try to save and preserve and restore a piece of architecture.
Now, plans to preserve the theater are underway thanks to a lot of help. A partnership with one dedicated Purdue civil engineering professor. Robert Jacko had the idea to get his students involved in supporting this historical landmark. Right now, 95 of his students are working on everything in the theater, from the corners of the dank basement to the shingles on the crumbling roof.
Each team knew what they had to do, they had their challenges, and they were gone. There were people up on the roof, there were people in the basement, there were people in the theater, people on the stage, people checking out the restrooms, everything. And so I was very pleased that they were very enthused about the theater.
Students are working on structural analyses of every aspect of the theater. Soon they will have a formal plan of ideas and possible avenues of action regarding the theater's flooding issues, electrical wiring, seating, restrooms, heating and cooling units, water supply, and even sewage. There is something for every student to work on, and they are all doing their part to help Kevin Burkett on his journey to restore this historic landmark. And Burkett is grateful.
We've had visitors from California, from New York City, come to our shows here. So it's bringing in a whole new clientele and people who may not be familiar with Logansport who are coming here and shopping at the other shops and eating at the restaurants. So I think it's really benefiting the entire community.
In Logansport, Maggie Mroczkiewicz, Fast Track News. Officer Libby Romstedt and Barry have been partners for almost a year now, but they are much more than just co-workers. Whether they are on duty answering service calls and making traffic stops, or at home relaxing after a long night's work, Officer Romsat and Barry are always at each other's sides. They are not just co-workers or partners, or even just friends. They are also each other's protectors and guardians, which is why Officer Romsat views Barry's safety as so important.
I wear a vest for 12 hours, so why shouldn't he?
While all 3 current WLPD canines have their own vests, Barry's is special. This one was provided through the Spikes Canine Fund Foundation and generously donated from CNN's Anderson Cooper.
Really cool to know that there are people out there that are pro law enforcement, are pro police canines, and that they'll spend the money to outfit them to keep them safe.
The name of the sponsor is stitched inside the vest, so Officer Romstat will always have a reminder of those who support both her and Barry's service to the community, and Barry will always have the name of Anderson Cooper close to his heart. The vest itself is bulletproof and stab resistant and costs $2,500. Officer Romsat says the best feature of Barry's new vest is that it's lightweight enough for him to wear throughout a whole 10-hour shift, and potentially longer if need be.
He had a vest before that was heavier, and he didn't wear it the whole shift. He wore it if I deemed that it was necessary, which kind of isn't fair to him because, he's not protected all the time like I am.
Barry seems to be breaking in his new vest quickly and is already comfortable wearing it over full shifts.
He can't tell me if he likes it or not, but even if he didn't like it, he's going to wear it because, it'll help keep him safe.
Because she believes that, like all fellow police officers,
His life is just as important as, mine.
in West Lafayette, Maggie Mroczkiewicz from The Exponent.